Hello! If you've been watching me on Twitch lately, you might have seen this map before. This is Jamz Dip 2, a newish tower map released in December of last year, and that is 14 floors tall and is built by the Jams or the Crystallized Gem community. And here we have my finished run. It took me 28 hours to do in total. No, it didn't. It took me 33 hours to do in total, and yeah, it was difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy. It was definitely difficult. I did 8 hours on the mini checkpoint version and 25 hours on the full version, the no checkpoint version. And here is my final run, which got me the world record at 37 minutes, beating the old world record by Hemio, the only other finisher, who had a 58-minute finishing time. This is the run. We're starting off on floor 0. Floor 0 is very straightforward. It is a simple sort of climb around. Make sure you don't fall here. This is quite a big spot to fall off at because you can land in the water. Gotta make sure you stop before the end of the ice and climb up here. You can fall off there. I've done that many times where you just kind of slide your way off, just gradually. It's a bit of an annoying way to go, but if you do it carefully, it's not too bad. So this map was released, as I say, December of last year, the 20th of December. I played the mini checkpoint version for many hours up until I felt comfortable with the map. I got the time down to a 35-minute run, where my Copium timer was only a 31-minute run, so it was pretty close in the to what I could actually do as a maximum time. Here we are on floor 1 now. This floor was built by Ghostly Razgriz, one of my regular viewers. Naturally, they will use wood. They're using wood in their floor, as you might expect, as they are known for their slow motion wood maps, which are very cool, very exciting. Go and check them out if you haven't before. There's nothing too hard on this floor. It's just very much a floor of patience. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it either, but don't overdo it too. As you can see, the heighteometer in the top left is going up. It's a little bit wrong. The maximum height of this tower is only 1,498 meters rather than 1,947 meters, but I have got the old Deep Dip 1 information there still, in case I ever want to go back to it, which I probably won't. So yeah, parts like this, we want to go nice and slowly around. If you go too fast, you can bobble your way off, especially if you're on the outside of the pipe. You don't want to fall off. Jumping up here, you can't tell, but there is water hidden under that black surface, so this bit's a bit of a wetwood slide, not too challenging, followed by a bobsleigh, which means, you know what it means, it's wet icy wood time. It's only 32% wet icy wood, so it's not very slippy, very easy to control. Just gotta not overdo it. And here we've got to carry a little bit of speed around the corner in order to get enough speed to make it over here cleanly. The first time I did that, I didn't have enough speed, so I just hit the edge of the wood and fell off. Very disappointing. We're coming towards the end of the floor now. This is one of the longer floors on the map. It starts you off nice and slowly. Then we get through the floors a lot faster later on. This is not the cleanest of runs I could have done. I had a run the other day, which got to I got to the roof, the final jump, you've probably seen it on my shorts, in 36 minutes. So I lost a bit of time compared to that one, but all things considered, I'm very happy with this run. It could have been a lot worse. And we're up to the end of Ghosty's floor, onto floor 2, made by Sebekek. Now, Seb's floor is something. It's not particularly difficult, but there are a few things that feel inconsistent on it. This starting point is very, very straightforward. And here's the first of them, this wiggly pipe. Now, if you do it nice and carefully, generally you'll make it, but occasionally you'll get a weird sort of bounce, I suppose, on the end of that pipe being so wibbly, and you'll fall off. On this section here, if you bounce into the plastic walls while you go around the edges of the holes, you'll also fall off because you'll be bounced straight into the hole. You just gotta be careful with it, and it's not too bad after a bit of practice. it's nice and easy. Jumping down here, reminiscent of floor 4 from Deep Dip 1. And go up here with a little release to make sure you don't get a bad gear right at the end of the jump. You will make it even with a bad gear. Well, you can make it with a bad gear, but there's also a chance that you won't make it. There's no point in risking it. You can go direct there, but I play it safe. Go back towards the Polish flag. I'm going to jump through this hole here. Now this next section isn't one of my favourites. It's one of my least favourite parts of the map. First you got to do a backward speed slide across some dirt, a booster and some grass, and then you got to line up precisely here. Get your nose directly in the middle, reverse back to a particular point. There's a smudge on the road that you're looking for, on the dirt road, and then you got to get it perfect speed, 90 speed as the sign suggests, to bounce. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. If you do that setup, it works most of the time, just not all of the time. And then down here, you got to get lucky not to get a plastic bounce or an edge bug, I suppose, on that bounce up the top, which will make you fall down, which I have done before. This part is very easy to make a mistake on. Clip your back wheel, you're going to fall off. Clip your front wheel, you're going to fall off definitely. Might get away with the back wheel. And let's not forget that this is in the replay. I haven't computed the shadows, so it looks a lot brighter than it is. In reality, it's a lot darker than this, and that can make it more difficult. Then we've got to edge across these beams. It's easy to fall off of them, but we did not. And here was another rough section of this floor. I figured out a way to do it. Just clip your back right wheel and creep your way across with like a 45 degrees angle, and then steer towards the right to straighten up as you go to the end. It's a bit tricky. It can screw you over, but it didn't this time. Here's a part that is, I think, heavily influenced, let's say, by Deep Dip 2 and the messy jump as it's now known. Just got to line up. The setup is way harder than the messy jump because you don't have that wider platform at the end. But you get through the boosters, get a roof bounce and a plastic bounce on the nose, and try not to fall off here, which has happened many times. You bounce off the side and just kind of flip around the edge of that thing you bounced off of, the backboard, I would say. I think it was a face, but whatever. But we survived it pretty cleanly, and that brings us to the end of floor 2, one of the major stopping points of all my attempts. Then we get up to floor 3. I can't remember who made floor 3, but we're up here anyway. Floor 3 is one of my favourite floors. It's pretty chill. It's all about just playing it smoothly. It's a fun one. More surprise water here. Gotta not fall off. Perhaps reminiscent of floor 7 on Deep Dip 1 as well. That's what it reminded me of anyway. Jump down into the transition, and then you can jump up and across into the bobsleigh. But you want to come out of here smoothly, no sliding, to have enough speed with the booster to make it up to the pool. Nice and easy jump. Takes a bit of practice. Next jump's scary. Jumping onto some off-camera wood, which faces out of the tower. You miss that, you go straight down. I did that, I think, twice during my attempts at the full tower, which is not ideal. But it's one of those difficulties. Another difficulty here, you want to maintain gear 3 as jumping up here. I didn't quite have the line as I was going to crash, so I just backed out of it. And cost myself probably a good 10 seconds or so, but nothing too bad. But you do want to get gear 3. If you get gear 2 as you're like slowing down to make that jump, you won't. You could get a bad gear on the exit of the jump and fall. Landing here can be rough as well. I like to angle my car upwards, like towards the top a little bit more than you might expect. So the bounce slows me down, and then I can just creep onto where I need to go. It's I've fallen off there a number of times as well. There are many times in these first 7 floors particularly where I have made many a mistake. I will be making a small documentary about this map as well, because I think it's got a fun little story of my progress, and I want to share it. Good excuse to make another documentary. Up here now, we go to the first, and I think only, ice slide of the tower. Gotta just get it right to jump over the border and crash there. You can fall in that gap to the left of the sign, which I have done if you have too much speed. But it's not too easy to happen with the other sign there. Jumping up there, you can turtle, but there's water right next to it, so it's all good. And we're on to floor 4. Floor 4 is made by Taurus. It's another one of my favourite floors. Both floors 3 and 4 are really good fun. Really like them both. We're going to jump across straight away, and then we want to do a wall ride, a smooth wall ride, I must add, into a bobsleigh with an early air brake, just in case, to make it up to this platform. You can get that much more smoothly than I did, but I hit a tree on the exit. It doesn't really matter. Couple transitions here. Get your left wheel just over the edge of the corner, so your car flips, but not too far, not too little. And then we have another set of transitions here. It's a very transitional floor, which makes it quite good fun to play, but it's also very stressful, because as you might have noticed, and you will notice towards, you might not notice it towards the end, but there is very little in the way of scenery around the place. So if you fall, there is a very good chance you won't land on anything, which is one of the main difficulties of this map. Hit my left wheels there, which was very scary. If you hit your left wheel on the right side, there's a good chance you're gonna fall there, but I got away with it this time, so it's good. Now there is a shortcut coming up here, which I don't take because it's risky. If you jump straight there, it's a blind jump entirely, but you can land on a later part of the track. I'll show you in a sec. You can land on this bit here. Bit risky. Here's where a checkpoint was situated on the checkpoint version, but not on this version. You gotta maintain speed around the thin, narrow pipe thing. I don't know what to call them, like stands, signs, whatever you want to call them. You gotta carry your speed through them. And here's another section we gotta do that. So this time you gotta jump into the hardest jump of floor 4. You gotta get enough speed to jump up, but not too far, and get enough momentum to carry you over to the other side. Jump too far into the dip, you'll just crash to the other side and lose a bunch of speed, which you don't want to do. Because if you fall there, you gotta restart. It's very punishing. It's what makes this tower much more difficult than perhaps it needs to be. One thing I liked about Deep Dip 1, and even to an extent Deep Dip 2, obviously if you get past like floor 4, is if you fall, there's a good chance you'll find something else to land on. This tower, you don't have that, unless you get up to the really high floors. On to floor 5, built by Nolophus. Floor 5, I fell off of once during my hunt to beat this map. I fell only once, and you'll be able to see where probably quite easily when we get to it. The start is a nice easy transition, and then we go into a dirt anti-half pipe, I guess. Upside down anti-half pipe with some bits here that you gotta do a dirt wall right about. It's not too hard, just don't take too much speed so you lose grip. Don't angle too much so you lose grip. Now we're at probably the sketchiest part of floor 5. Gotta clip your right wheel over and your left wheel over the back. You can see what I mean. And this is where I fell that one time that I failed floor 5. I just rushed a little bit and fell in between the gap. But if you get that, the rest of floor 5 is pretty straightforward. Narrow beam here that you gotta not fall off. Even if you hook 2 wheels, you can save it pretty easily. There's plenty of space to work with. I also like the butterfly scenery on this floor. Very cute. There's a no stairs that you gotta go through with a reset. Not too difficult to get through. Just gotta line up early. And then you gotta go around the poles. Not for the last time on this tower. But they're very easy. They're not nearly as difficult as the flagpoles on Deep Dip 2 on floor 16. These are trivial to go around. Got another set of rings, set of donuts. These are a bit bigger than the earlier donuts on floor 2. But they're just as easy. You don't need carry speed here, but I find it's a bit safer if I do that. Mind you, did I go for it here? No, I didn't. I wanted to make sure I had enough speed. As I say, you don't need that much speed, but the more speed you do have, the safer the jump is. Where you're flipping out here to land into the pool just down there. Nice and easy. Make sure you don't hit that pillar, which I did do once. I must have failed floor 5 twice. Which was very silly. And then one final part of floor 5, which is another off-camber wood section. Carry enough speed to make this jump. And you're on floor 6. Now floor 6 I used to think was a very hard floor. It turns out all the difficult jumps you can actually play them safe. And that's what I did. Like if you look at my mini checkpoint version, or mini checkpoint run on this map, I'll do loads of risky strats, but you don't need to. Here's a wall ride, you got to get the timing right for the jump out. Landing into some water, which then immediately proceeds with dirt. And then jump up here onto what used to be, I'd say, the second hardest jump on this tower. Where you got to jump down into this wall ride and go across and make the jump over to that other platform. And because you have wet wheels, you'll be sliding about all over the place. You got to make sure not to slide. However, there's a recovery route, which doesn't recover you, it just makes the jump. So that's convenient. It makes one of the hardest jumps completely trivial, which is very, very nice. This took me a while to actually pathfind around the very first time I played it. I wasn't sure exactly where to go because it wasn't too clear. But I did find the way, obviously. And it's not too bad. It's pretty easy to do. It's a bit harder with wet wheels perhaps because you might roll over. But without the wet wheels from that jump, it's fine. My original plan here was also to continue with lots of speed up until the next section. But it's much safer to just back up and do it like this. And this goes for this next section as well, where you can carry speed into the next jump, which you'll see in a second. Or you can reverse and get the perfect speed every time if you go just beyond that last line. You get the jump, you get the next jump, and then it's just bounce off the plastic into some water, once again followed by another dirt section. Jump down a platform, jump down another platform, and jump down a third platform into a sketchy flip right on the edge of the tower. But if you line up really wide, I haven't actually failed it by lining up really wide, so it's all good. Got some wet wheels around here, just got to play it safe. No point in rushing. It's a tower map, and we're about a little over a third of the way through. Go climb up this pipe now. You can do it slowly. Originally I did that fast. We've worked most of the time, but not all the time. And yeah, the recovery for that isn't too bad anyway. It just takes you to the end of floor 5, or the mid part of floor 5. So it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world either. But to the end of floor 4, to the end of floor 6, we're just going around some pipes. We also have some wet pipes. Wet pipe action. The problem with pipes are they're made of metal, so you don't lose wet wheels on them. Which means you've got to maintain your composure, as you do if you get to floor 7, which is the hardest floor on the tower. And I wasn't confident on the start already, but jump out from the sausage, make this jump just about, and then do a quick shortcut. The first shortcut on the tower, it's a very obvious one. I think the map had literally just missed it. The idea is you go around and jump through that hole above you, but you don't need to. So we're not going to. We climb up some ice. This bit isn't that hard, obviously. It's a bit nerve-wracking when you first get here. The nerves are going a little bit, but it's not my first time here. At this point, wait for the icy tires to remove. You can jump straight onto this booster. Do some wiggles across. Keeps it nice and easy. Gather a bit of speed so you can just do it across in 3. Perfect. Now, this next jump, one of the sketchiest on the tower. Because you got to carry speed, your wheels will bobble about a bit, so you can get slowdowns on that plastic. You got to have enough speed to make the jump. I was skillful enough, I suppose. That's one way of putting it. I was lucky enough not to have any issues that time. I'm going to carry some speed to get up this snowbank. You don't need to use the booster, but it's easiest to. An odd jump here. If you full speed it, you will undershoot, because what you want to do is you want to bounce off this platform. If you have more speed, yeah, that was lucky. If you have more speed, you will simply not get as much height from the bounce. So you want to release a little bit and then accelerate later on, so you don't have quite as much speed, but you have enough speed to make the jump. I got very lucky on the landing as well. I just kind of let it do its thing. If it landed the other way, it would have been a dead turtle, I'm pretty sure. And the run would have probably been over. But I was lucky in this sense, in this case, so I didn't have to worry about that. Little reverse plastic speed slide to get us across the earlier gap. And then we just go backwards and forwards on this sausage section to make it over these fences here. Just about managed it. Up the pipe. And then we're going to jump straight back down into the sausage once again. I'm going to play it safe though. Don't have to play it safe, but gonna just line up. I was really not confident on this jump today for some reason. And then make sure you brake on this little edge there, the little road edge, because you could go flying over the following wall otherwise, and I have done that. Well, not on a real run, but I have managed that in practice. And now for the hardest jump on the tower. The idea here is that you flick over on this left side, you go backwards, flip yourself backwards, and carry speed to jump. We're not going to do that, because that's prone to dead turtling. We're just going to jump down. I had another idea on how to beat this jump. I think I went for it to start with. Yeah, because you have a reverse gear here. As you're going backwards, you keep the reverse gear until after you land, so you don't get that much speed. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do it this way around. You go through here backwards, go back through, and you have enough speed to turn around, enough space to turn around and keep going. But as you can see, I almost fell off because I did that. It's a bit more dangerous, but you get a lot more speed for the jump. So instead, I just went for it. And we made it. The gap that you have to aim for is so tiny. It's so minuscule that it's such a hard job to do. And at the end of floor 7, where the rest of the floor has been pretty tricky, it's not a fun one to do. And if you fall there, there is not much to catch you. If you fall off one side, you'll fall straight down to the bottom. If you fall off the other side, you'll fall straight down to floor 3, I think. So it's a scary one to get wrong. But then we've just got to get to the end of floor 7. We're almost there now. It's a very long floor, very tricky. All the floors preceding and succeeding from it are very long. Oh, very easy in comparison, sorry. Yeah, you just got to make your way across the ice there. It's not difficult, but it's a bit awkward. I don't think you can fall there. You can get stuck though. And then you just got to reverse down here onto the booster. Try not to fall off. And go forwards. If you saw, there were 2 little platforms, 2 little blocks on the booster. At the end of the booster. And if you line yourself up perfectly, you can go straight between them. And you can't recover from that. That's straight to the bottom, which I did once. And that was the most annoying thing I think I've done on this map. So, yeah, I didn't do that this time. I made sure to line up to the side. Didn't even hit them. So it's fine. Ignore the minus 89. Just gotta get across an anti-booster with a little bit of the speed wiggle. And we're on to floor 8. Now floor 8 and upwards are very easy in comparison to the bottom floors. There's nothing hugely scary about any of them. Here you just gotta make sure you don't fall off the beams. You jump across. And this next section is tedious, but pretty easy. As you can see, it's lots of flags, but the path is more than wide enough for me to gradually edge my way around them without any difficulty. I did almost mess up one of these, but I can't remember which one. I don't know which one it was. That one I went out a little bit far, I think, but it doesn't matter. We did make it, as you can probably tell from the title. But it's just about keeping it nice and steady. You can probably get the line right to go on the side and keep the speed up for it. We do, but I don't want to do that. This jump's a bit scary because it's completely blind. But once you see the pole that's on top of the wall ride, it's not too bad to make. But it's still a little bit scary. But we made it. Then we just got to get down these little platforms here. We're almost at 1,000 meters. This next jump will take us over 1,000 meters. And up to the right, which I didn't quite get enough distance for. So I'm a little bit stuck on the edge, which is not great for a shallow pool because you can't get your wheels back out unless you go to a corner or there's something else, such as this ramp, to help you up. Fortunately, as you can see, there was this ramp, which we can gradually make our way over to, probably losing us a good minute or so. Bit annoying, but it's fine. So I reach it, like, yeah, this will do, and then it didn't. And so I had to release a little bit, and I could just about get my right wheel over. My left wheel still stuck, so I carried a little bit of speed, and we finally made it. Bit of a pain, lost us a good amount of time, but doesn't matter. This jump, before I knew how to set it up, was very annoying. I would ram into that many times, but what I forgot was you had to get all 4 wheels onto the platform, and then you can make it. On to floor 9. I did bump. I was trying to back out of it, but I couldn't do anything about it. Fortunately, I had wet wheels, so my speed wasn't actually that low. Didn't drop too much from it. So I could still make this jump. And it was fine, but it was a little bit of a scary moment. I was a little worried I was going to fall off. But fortunately, we didn't. Got a smooth landing into there. And yeah, floor 9 is very straightforward, actually. I like floor 9. I don't know who made floor 9. I do apologize to the creators of floor 9 and 10 and 11 because I do not remember where each floor ends and starts. Most of the time, they all kind of merge into one. They're all relatively simple. But at this point, it's not about the difficulty of the floors, it's about just keeping your composure. Can you keep your composure to the end of the tower? That is the question. There are a few difficult jumps later on, but they are right at the end, so you just gotta keep it going. These moving blocks don't do anything. You've got some wet wood into some dry wood. Very straightforward, you just keep it going. You gotta make sure here you don't carry any speed, because I've done that in the checkpoint version, and you just fly off. Gonna wait for the moving block to finish moving, to move back, I suppose. Carry some speed up to this jump here. And we've got some more moving blocks, as if we hadn't had enough before. Across 1, across 2, across 3. Up the pipe. And just gotta play it safe with these. No point in rushing at this point. Could have gone there probably, but we're not going to. And to floor 10. This is a very basic floor, but I quite like it. do a wall right around, up into a bounce, some water ice, and then everyone's favourite trick with plastic balls and ice. You go back, you bounce back, get a load of speed for no reason, and you can make it. You don't actually need to get that extra speed. You can make it without the bounce, but it's safer to do so. Carry some speed up the sand onto this wall here, and then we're going to do it again. Then we just got to get across these poles, which there's a very specific angle for. You carry too much speed, you won't make it. Carry a wrong angle, you won't make it over, but it's fine. There's no risk to it. This is the scariest bit of this floor. Just the inside after the downhill, under the poles. Bit scary. Almost messed that one up as well. But generally, pretty straightforward. We like this floor. Gotta keep it together. Did bump into the pillar there, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. I thought I might fall off, but as you can see, I didn't. But I haven't actually done that before, so it was a change. Never do some more wall rides. Great gears. Up into a bounce. Into the water. Very nice. Go around here slowly. And then we're doing some slow wetwood, which is an experience. Not necessarily a good one at that. Just got to keep speed. Not too much speed, but not too little speed. Sitting in gear 2, go down the hill. Keep it straight, and we can jump up. Over the snowman. Around the corner. I'm going to slow it down a little bit here. Because once I flew through that sand so quickly that I almost fell off immediately afterwards because my car was angled. And we got onto dry wood all of a sudden. So it just shot me off to the side. Fortunately, I didn't fail here. And we can keep climbing. Here's some facts for you. On floors 8, 9, 10, and 11. I think. Yeah. On these floors. Not once did I fail. And here up to the penultimate floor made by Lone Code. Pretty easy floor, but it's got some sketchy bits to it. I failed this floor once. And it was most upsetting. It was a very stupid way of falling as well. I didn't actually get a recording of it either. But it was a very daft way of falling off the tower. Just got to keep these transitions clean. Here, avoid the hole. There is a clip of me doing an amazing save, but I fell off here in my first attempt at this floor, which was very dumb. I was just taking it too slowly because I didn't expect I'd need that much speed, but I needed a little bit more speed. At this point, we were playing everything as safe as we can. There are faster ways of doing things, but we're not going to risk it. Got to play it nice and safe. Just climbing up to the end now. We've got 100 meters to go. 200 meters to go. There is a fast trick here. If you hook your right wheels, carry enough speed, you can jump off of here and make it to that platform over there. The next platform we're going to, in fact. But we're going to play it safe. There's no point in risking at this point. This part's quite good fun. Just hopping between the different black platforms. Smoke makes it a little bit annoying the first time you get through here, but it's nothing bad. Carry enough speed so you make it across these gaps without any issue at all. And then you're towards the end of floor 12. Floor 11 or 12. I don't know the floor numbers at this point. I think it's floor 12. Either way, the next part is quite long actually, and very tedious. but we've just got to make it. I jump across here, and there is another shortcut here. We can jump straight over to the other side. Just straight over to the grass, but no point in risking it at this point. We're just going to play it safe. Avoid all the trees. There's a lot of trees that you got to avoid. Many trees. Get into some pools. Play it safe. You can just jump up here. Nice and easy. I think you can go across that sort of connection between the pools there, but it's rough. And you can jump across to this or the other pool over the other side straight away, but it's a little bit risky. I almost fell off there, which would have been a very stupid way of falling. Not my dumbest way of falling on this map, mind, but it would have been very silly. We didn't know, so it's all good. This jump is a little bit scary jumping onto this platform, but you can get your wheel up and get it straight over. If you don't, you'll fall back, and then you just need to get gear 1 and not reverse gear, and you'll make it. With some acceleration boost. But once again, this bit, you can do this bit super quick, but I figured I'll take my time with it. I'll make sure we do it right. And so I did. It's slow, but it does the job. My copium timer on my mini checkpoint version run was a 31-minute time. So I think 37 minutes isn't too far off. And we're up to the final floor, which I believe... I can't remember. Oh, I'm an idiot. I can't remember the name of the person who made it. Gearman, there we go. This floor has some ridiculous tricks on it. This first one here, you got to carry speed up the hill to get this precise jump. Well, you have to get your wheels around either side of that. And you need to maintain the momentum from up the hill in order to make it. If you don't have one of those things, you won't make it. This is the roof, by the way. And this next jump is one of my worst clips I've ever had. Got to flip up here and not turtle or anything like that, which I did on one of my clips. You just have a little jump and the final jump to go, which I also failed once, which is very terrible. It's a difficult jump, and we just get it. I say we just get it. It was like dead center, but it was clean. I couldn't have wished for a better final jump after my failure of it before. But yeah, I was very glad that I made that final jump this time. My third attempt at the roof, and well, third and final attempt, fortunately. So yeah, this is quite a fun map. As I said, I'll be making a little mini documentary about it and my time on the map, because it's quite an interesting story in my opinion. I enjoyed playing it. Perhaps I wouldn't recommend going for it if you're new to tower maps. It's a lot easier than, say, Deep Dip 1, but it's super punishing. You make a mistake and you will just fall down, and it's rough when that happens, you know. So give it a go. Give the mini checkpoint version a go. It's called Jamz Dip 2, 121 checkpoints. Give that one a go. It's good fun. See how fast you can get on that. Clover currently have the world record with a 33-minute time, but that's going to be very hard to beat. But yeah, that's it. I'm glad I finished this now. I can finally work towards beating Deep Dip 2 again. This was a little bit of a side project that I didn't think would take as long as it did, but here we are. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.